Psylocke is an easy character to play, is a statement that should never be said by anyone above the rank of Platinum. In really low ranks, Psylocke is a very easy character to get away with. She has really good damage, pretty decent range, amazing mobility, and overall, the people at those ranks just don't really know how to react to this character. But as you start to climb, you might notice that the regular frontline playstyle of Psylocke doesn't really work anymore. Players start turning around, enemy teams start counter swapping, and you start to get less and less value. Today, I'm going to explain why that's happening and give you everything you need to know to rank up on this character. I'm a one above all Psylocke and Magic player who's been playing Psylocke since Season 0. She was originally the first character that I started to main, but over time I've sort of leaned more towards Magic, and let me tell you, it took me a while to master this character. Aside from all the aim aspects, playing Psylocke the correct way in a ranked match is really hard to do. So what I'm going to try to do is summarize everything that I've learned into 3 main categories. By the end of this video, you're going to be an amazing Psylocke, okay? Everyone's going to be like, oh my god, how does Psylocke get so good? And you just tell them pick and roll top you, alright? The very first thing I want to talk about is your aim. With Psylocke being a hit scan character, aiming is arguably the most important part of her kit. If you have good aim, you've already set yourself up to be an amazing Psylocke player. Now, if your aim is kinda trash, yeah, we gotta work on that. Don't worry, because there are a lot of ways you can improve your aim, whether you play on controller or whether you use a PC. I play on controller, and initially when I picked up Marvel Rivals, my aim was really garbage, and I'm not gonna lie, even now I don't have the greatest aim in the world, but it took a lot of time and I was able to improve my aim to the point where I'm able to play Psylocke, and I don't whiff my shots, 100% of the time. If you play on controller and you're interested in learning more about improving your aim, I would watch the video I've already made on it. It's super short and it gives you everything you need to know. And by the end of it, you'll have the recipe for having good aim. Now for PC, I had to go and ask one of my friends that plays Marvel Rivals on PC and is also obsessed with aim training. And I'm going to tell you guys exactly what he recommended to me. First, there's the obvious way to improve your aim, which is aim trainers. But you can't just hop into an aim trainer, start doing random tasks, and expect your aim to just all of a sudden become godly by the end of it. It's going to take time, and it's going to take very specific routines in order to get your aim to where you want it to be. If you're interested in what these specific routines could be, I'm going to leave you guys the exact message that my friend left me with here. You can pause the video and follow this. It has a specific routine for both Aim Labs and Kovacs. Aim Labs is completely free to download for anyone with a PC, and Kovacs is costing you an extra $10. So do with that if you will. If you have an extra $10 to spend, I would use it. Now that your aim is on the way to becoming better, let's talk about something you can actually focus on in game. My second piece of advice for playing Psylocke at a higher rank would be to learn her matchups. In a lot of lower ranks, you can definitely get away with insta-locking Psylocke, staying on her the entire game, and still get a lot of value out of her. But as you get to higher ranks, the enemy team starts to get a little bit competent. So if they see you getting value on Psylocke, they're likely to make a swap. Or if you're playing Psylocke with a team that doesn't really fit the dive playstyle that Psylocke has, it might not work as well because you're not synergizing with your team, which is super important at a higher skill level. So I'm going to show you guys the best times to play Psylocke using your own team's comp and the enemy team's comp. When you're looking at your own team, as I mentioned earlier, the best composition for Psylocke is dive, meaning characters like Magic, Black Panther, or Spider-Man for your duelists, and then obviously a shield tank like Stranger Mag, and an off tank like Thing. Takes a lot of attention on you and makes it really easy to just go do some BS in the enemy backline of Psylocke, which is, we love that over here. And for your strategist, it's always nice to have a Luna Snow Snowflake because that means she can heal you without you even worrying about playing in her line of sight. You guys are gonna hate me saying this, but Rocket is actually a really good healer for dive because his orbs bounce everywhere on any point, and if you're in the backline way off in the distance, one of Rocket's orbs may bounce off a wall, hit you, and give you the little bit of extra health you need to continue jumping their supports. Okay, now let's talk about all of Psylocke counters. Meaning if you see this character, it is going to make your job as a Psylocke a lot harder during the match. So you either risk getting folded or just wrap the character up. Starting off with Bucky. You're staring at a character that definitely needs a nerf. This guy is the most anti-dive character in the game. His hook can just absolutely stun you out of your grabs, his uppercut keeps you in place, and his little anti-air thing slows you down. It is so hard to 1v1 this character, especially since every time he uses an ability, he gets shield back and reloads his gun. If you're playing Psylocke, do not try to 1v1 Bucky. It is not very smart. Unless you're really feeling confident in your aim, you're probably gonna lose. NetEase, please nerf this character. Number 2, and probably the one most people know, is Namor, because his squids track you everywhere you go through all of your dashes, and it's really hard to stay focused on supports when you have squids that are constantly hitting you, or when Namor has the Luna Snow team up, the squids will also slow you down, which is just like so annoying. And they even buffed the ice squid a little bit ago, and it's the dumbest thing in the world. Now, moving on to Vanguard counters. The Thing, his Earthbound Slam Yancey Street Charge absolutely takes away all of your movement options on Psylocke. You can't dash out of it. I don't think you can go invis. You really do not want to get caught by that, because Psylocke is a character that explodes really quickly. And what I mean by that is that if people see you standing still and you're earthbounded because of the Thing's charge, you're most likely going to get focused and die in less than a second. So do not get caught by the Thing's earthbound. However, Psylocke does a really good job at draining the Thing's health, because Psylocke is like a tank buster. She does so much burst. In terms of strategist counters, Loki is the #1 strategist that comes to my mind when I think of Psylocke counters, because his rune is one of the most busted abilities in the game, in the sense that it is not a target for a lot of DPS ults. So if you're playing Star-Lord and Loki places his little immortality rune, your ult won't target it, and so he can just sit in it the entire duration of the ult and not take a single hit point of damage. The same thing is true for Psylocke's ult. If you Psylocke ult, not only are each of his individual clones going to count as a target, making your ult do less individual damage, but if he places his runes, you'll actually do no damage. Your ult will not destroy the rune, and so it'll just stay up the entire duration, and it just blocks your ult entirely. The best thing to do against Loki is to try to bait out his runes, get rid of the clones, then pop your ult, which again, since all of his cooldowns are not really that long, it's kind of hard to do. And I forgot to mention this, but the counter for Namor would be to constantly break his squids before you go engage in your dive activity. But for Bucky, I don't know any counters. You just gotta hope and pray that you win that 1v1. And the last piece of advice I want to give to people looking to improve their Psylocke if they want to play her at a higher rank is to constantly watch your positioning. Or more specifically, constantly get to an off angle. If you've been into any of my streams, first of all, hey, thank you. But you know that I VOD review a lot of Psylocke players, and I can recall saying about 36.3 times per stream to get to an off angle when you're playing Psylocke. Now if you're like, what is an off angle? An off angle is a position away from the front of the team fight that gives you a clearer line of sight onto whatever target you're aiming for. In this case with Psylocke, it's the strategist. Obviously when you're on Psylocke, your main target should be the supports. The quicker you get rid of the supports, the more your team can progress the team fight. So to do that, you want to be looking around you in different maps and seeing where you can go to get an easier sight line on the supports. If you stay in the front where the rest of your team is fighting, all you'll be seeing is the vanguards on the enemy team throwing up shields, hitting you with earthbounds, and trying to get rid of you because they can see you. But if you look for high ground and you wait for the vanguards to pass by, you'll have an easy line of fire straight to the supports. And even if you don't manage to kill the supports from that off angle, you have 2 dashes to reposition however you like, and your invisibility to move around if you get caught. And the best part about playing Psylocke is that still gets value. You moving around in their backline still gets value because it causes the duelists and the vanguard to turn around and protect their strategist from you. So the harder you are to find and deal damage to, the more paranoid you're going to make their strategist, therefore their team is going to be a lot more disorganized, and the rest of your team can take advantage of that. So while it is okay to frontline as Psylocke sometimes, for a majority of the game, you want to be sneaking around the backline, finding high ground, and using your invis to be the most annoying possible Psylocke player of all time. Okay, I am absolutely sure that you guys all learned something about being an absolutely filthy Psylocke player. So now that you know your matchups, you can aim well, and you know how to play your off angles, I'm going to send you off to go carry all your rank games. I'm also going to add some rank clips at the end of this video so you guys can see how I play Psylocke. And if you like them, subscribe. like the video, and I'll see you guys when I upload next. Peace out.
Here is an enemy to pursue.
Hey, team! Enjoy the amplifier!
Mind over matter.
Double kill! That's 3!
This is real firepower!
Step aside.
I'll patch you up. Hey, team! Enjoy the amplifier!
You're mine. Time out.
30 seconds!
You're mine. The time has come. Attack.
Your powers are mine!
Against the world. Behold! Dark child!
Find us.
Double KO! Shield up!
Magneto!
Wow, 4 in a row! The current score is 3-2-0. Just embrace the light!
You're mine.
Please, my heart!
Sayonara.
By the eye of Agamotto!
This is real firepower!
Getting hurt. You're mine.
The amplifier!
By the eye of Agamotto!
Feel the wrath of the goddess!
My life force is exposed.
Out of sight.
You're welcome.
Shield up! Against the world! You're mine!
Your weapons are inelegant, Frank. We must
Final score 3-2-2.